Coming up next, how to explain a job gap on your resume. And then people are just quitting instead of going back to the office. And then one of my favorite things we do every week, it's Tuesday Juice Day. Don't move. Your calls are coming up as well. All right, welcome to the Ken Coleman Show. We're coming to you live from our Ramsey Solutions Studios in Nashville. And you've joined a conversation about who you are. And, of course, I have my computer volume on, Joe, as we come in. I'm right here on YouTube, so I will tell you, I can see the chat room. There's evidence right there. The old pesky volume button that sometimes I forget to turn down as we start the show. So you never know when I might jump right into the chat room here live on YouTube if you're watching at 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Here on YouTube. If you're watching later, maybe you should watch live Monday through Friday at 12 noon. All right, here's what we do if you're new to the program. We help you discover what you were born to do. Very simply. Heavy focus on the professional purpose, although there is relational purpose in all of our lives. Really, relational purpose and professional purpose. And we're going to focus on the professional purpose because we believe that you were created to work. In other words, created to contribute, to make a difference. And if you're in a job that just is boring or miserable, or it's just a thing you fell into, you know there's more to life than that. So let's help you figure out what you were created to do. There's purpose, and should be purpose in your work. You can make the income you need and the impact you want all in the same place. So we're going to help you figure that out. 844-747-2577, 844-747-2577. And don't forget, a little bit later, we like to have a little bit of fun here on the show all the time. And we started a tradition on Tuesdays where the team comes up with a energy drink or a juice or a coffee or something. 2 requirements. It must be healthy for you and it must drive energy. Because I'm always talking about, do you have the juice? Well, the way you really get the juice in your life is doing what you're created to do. You're fired up. You got a little extra pep in your step. But we're going to actually sample some juice later. Who is providing the Amanda. Amanda, the associate producer, call screener extraordinaire, has picked out the juice today. So we'll learn more about that. And that's a lot of fun. We hope I will rate the juice, and this is not an endorsement at all. Because last week I sampled a juice called pickle juice. And it's not pickle juice. It had pickle juice in it, but the brand was pickle juice, and it was the worst stuff I've ever tasted. So bad that I didn't even rate it. I forgot to rate it because honestly, if I'm giving out a 0, that's a 0.
If you didn't like it, we sure liked it.
You enjoyed it.
Yeah.
You enjoyed watching me drink it.
Oh, yeah.
They put it in a nondescript cup. I didn't even know what it was when I went to drink it, and it was awful. It was pickle juice and vinegar, and it was, I'm not even going to tell you what I thought it was.
Haven't had any muscle cramps, have you?
I've not had any muscle cramps, so that's a good thing. But boy, oh boy, was it alarming. And glad we have a trash can underneath the desk just in case whatever I sample, I'm going to try to hold it down. But I'm not above puking right here live on the air. I know. That's your worst nightmare, Madison. But I'm just saying, if I'm going to put myself out there for the people and I can't hold it down, well, I'll just go below the desk. No one will see it. And I'll tell you to turn the mic down, Joe. We have children out in the lobby watching today, and they don't know what they've shown up for. They're like, he just talked about puking live on the air. Is this like Dude Perfect's dad? That's probably what they're thinking. By the way, I interviewed Dude Perfect recently, so I know those guys. By the way, when I interviewed Dude Perfect, got a little personal video for Josie. Dad of the year. Dad of the year. So there you go. All right, let's get to it, shall we? We have a lot of fun here if you haven't figured it out because we're just here to help and we want you to enjoy the program. So let's talk about something that we get all the time. A question we get all the time on the show. Hey, Ken, how do I explain a resume gap? In other words, the way we've been taught to do resumes, and I think it's faulty, and I'll get to that in a moment, is that we put our entire work history on a resume. Like it's a biography. Nobody cares. But that's what we've been taught. And so a gap in a resume, for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, is where you would have a period of time where you were unemployed or you weren't working, whatever the reason. You just weren't working, okay? Or you didn't have traditional employment. And so if you think about a gap, that would be, okay, for this 6 months or this year, I don't show any traditional employment. And so it's a legitimate question. Okay, so let's address this. So how do you explain the job gap? Who says you have to explain it? A resume is nothing more than a brochure. And if you use the Ken Coleman method, and we have a free guide on how to do this at my website, kencoleman.com. It's the resume guide. It's free. It's a simple PDF. There it is right there on the screen. You can go get that. And I will teach you why we flip the traditional resume. We lead with who you know, relevant relationships, and we put education way at the bottom. We flip it because here's what we know. Hiring managers really don't care where you went to school. And they really don't even care about gaps in the resume. What they care about is relevant experience and relevant skills. That's it. That's all they care about. And so you can go read the guide. It'll take you through all the details. But suffice it to say, I teach only putting relevant experience on your resume anyway. So let's say that you've been working for 20 years. Do you put all 20 years of your work experience on your resume? No. Why? Because it's probably not relevant. If for some reason that all 20 years of your work experience is relevant to the job you're applying for, then by all means put it in there. But most of the time that's not the case. So many times where people have a gap on their resume, it's because maybe a woman went home or a man went home to watch the kids for a season, right? There was a life situation, family situation where, hey, one of us got out of the workforce and went home to be with the kids. That's a legitimate, relevant reason. You don't have to show that on your resume. When it comes up, if it comes up in the interview, you explain it. No big deal. There's no shame in your game there. Okay? But if you're going to have a gap, or you're already in the moment of a gap, right? And you're going, okay, I'm currently unemployed and I'm looking to make a move. Here's what you need to be doing. Get some qualifications, get some online certifications, some training, take a class, whatever, and show that. Have that. If somebody says, well, what were you doing in this gap? Say, I was getting trained for this job over here. Oh, great. You weren't sitting at home eating Twinkies and playing video games all day long, okay? So don't overthink this. But if you're putting relevant experience only on your resume, then that's what I teach, and I'll show you in that free guide how to do it. And by the way, we also have 6 awesome resume templates for $9.99 at kencoleman.com as well. It gives you all types of looks, and they look fantastic, and it uses my formula. It does all the work for you, okay? But here's the deal. When you put relevant experience on there, they're not looking at a timeline that says from 2003 to 2007, 2007 to 2010, 2010 to 2016. They're not seeing that anyway, so it doesn't matter. So don't overthink it. Put relevant experience only on the resume and let it ride. 844-747-2577 is the number, 844-747-2577. Let's go to Cleveland, Ohio to start it off. Today, Joseph joins us there. Joseph, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hey, how you doing, Ken? How are you?
Joseph, I'm living the dream. What are you doing?
Oh, I'm hanging in there.
All right. How can I help?
So my question is, how do I ask my boss for a raise without sounding like super whiny or ungrateful? And the problem is, I've known my boss my entire life, so it's not just like a corporate thing. It's a guy that I've actually known and grown up with. So what do I do?
Are you going to be whiny?
No.
Are you going to act ungrateful?
No, I just don't want him to see that
I know, but I'm
at
having
what he's doing.
I get it. I know what you're worried about. You don't want to come across the wrong way because this is a long-term relationship. You've known this person your whole life, so that it's not just you and him. You've got other people in your life that you care about, and they've got an equal relationship, and so you're just worried about coming across the wrong way because you're a really good guy.
Mm-hmm.
Did I get that about right?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
All right, so I'm having fun with you. So when you call in and go, Ken, how do I ask for a raise and not sound whiny and ungrateful? Then my answer is don't whine and don't be ungrateful. I'm not trying to be silly here. I'm just simply saying you have a fear of coming across in a way that you won't do. You just won't do that. It's like somebody saying, hey, Ken, I got a great opportunity to take a job working for a longtime family friend, but I don't want to do anything stupid. How do I not do that? And I go, don't do anything stupid. Right? So here's the point.
Right.
when you go in and you have this conversation, we're not even going to ask for a raise. Okay? And we're not even going to whine, and we're not going to be ungrateful. So you're worried about something that you're not going to do. So don't whine, don't be ungrateful. And here's another thing, don't ask for a raise. What if you go in and say, hey, I want to talk to you about a growth plan. Can we get together? It doesn't have to be right now. You send in an email, you can talk to him in person, say, hey, can we set a meeting soon? And this is what my preference is that you say, can we set up a meeting so that we could talk about a growth plan? I want to talk to you about growing professionally in this role. And I want to get your insight into what I can do better, new skills that I can develop, and how I can grow, because I want to increase my influence and responsibility here so that I can keep growing. Now, when you say it that way, how does that sound to you?
Sounds reasonable and professional, and not like I'm just trying to get more money.
That's right. There was no mention of money in that sentence, was there?
No.
But a reasonable, common sense human being could probably guess that maybe money might be attached to that. Yes or no?
I should hope so.
Right. So is this guy reasonable and have common sense?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So here's the deal. You know what the other thing that question does? It doesn't put the pressure on him to come up with that right now. He goes, oh, we're going to set a meeting, and so I need to do my homework. And you've kind of let him know what you want to discuss so he can come prepared. And nowhere in that meeting or in that question to set up the meeting do you mention a raise. And I don't want you to mention a raise either, because here's what I want you to do. When you sit down with him in the meeting, go, hey, I listen to this guy. Blame it on me, by the way. I listen to this guy, Ken Coleman. No, I'm dead serious. Think about this for a moment. I listen to this guy, Ken Coleman. He's got a show on YouTube. It's a podcast, national syndicated show. He's a #1 bestselling author. And here's what he suggests. I thought it was a good idea. So you're kind of putting it on me a little bit, right? I don't mind it.
Okay.
I don't care what he thinks about me. I'm right, though. He's going to go, this guy's pretty smart. But here's the deal. You say, hey, he made a suggestion. I thought it was good. I want to grow here. And so he suggested that I sit down with my leader, and that's you, and that we come together and go, hey, Joseph wants to be here long term, and Joseph wants to grow. So as my leader, Ken said, I need to sit down with you and go, hey, where are some areas that I can improve? Are there some areas that I can improve on currently right now? Because I want to know, and I'm a big boy and I can handle it. What are some things that some new skills or some additional experience that you think I need to get, which will make me more valuable to the company? Now, keep in mind, Joseph, everything we're talking about right here has nothing to do with money. It's you getting better and you becoming more valuable to the company. This is a good conversation. He's not feeling threatened by that. He's going, okay, good. Hopefully, if he's a good leader, I'll get to that in just a moment. And so then you say, and I'd like to know these things. You don't have to tell me today, but I thought we should sit down and talk about them, and I want to get that feedback. And I don't want to measure my growth. I want to measure like some more results. You want to see better results in this area. You want to see me improve in certain tasks. So proficiency, new skills, a class I can take online, things of the nature, some things that I can become more valuable. What would you suggest? And then can we measure that? Because I want to do those things that you say I need to do to become more valuable. Thus, I would like more responsibility, more influence, more put on me so that I can grow professionally and financially. Oh, there's the number. There's the dollar sign. How does that feel, Joseph?
Good.
Yeah, now here's the deal. Now let's talk about the reality. Just because you've known this guy your whole life doesn't mean he's a good leader. I hope he's a good leader, because a good leader will go, I love that. That's great. A good leader will say, you know what, I should have been driving this conversation, but I'm glad you brought it up. Because I want you around here and I want to see you grow professionally and personally. I want to see that. I want to see you reach your dreams. I want to see you win here and make more money. And because I know that if you're winning, Joseph, I'm winning. I hope that's what he says. There's a possibility he doesn't say that. There's a possibility he just says some things and then he never follows up. And then you go, well, that's weird. I've known him my whole life. He said we were going to talk about this. And he's not following up. And he's kicking a can down the road. And guess what? That's when you got to put your big boy pants on, Joseph, and go, I've reached my lid here at this organization because my leader is the lid. Joseph, you still tracking with me?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so if that's the case, it's still good news. Let me tell you why. Because now you've come to the realization that you've maxed out in this organization underneath this old family friend, and it's been a good journey, but it's time for you to seek something else, a place where you could actually get on a ladder and climb. Are you still following me, Joseph?
Mm-hmm.
That's what's ahead of you, my friend. And here's the good news.
Okay.
Either it's going to work out there or it's going to work out somewhere else. But the time is now. And folks, by the way, I just took you to school on Joseph. You don't ask for a raise. You ask for a conversation where you can develop a growth plan that is measurable. It's clear, the expectations and the measurables are very clear. And a good leader is going to go, oh, this is great. In fact, you may lead your leader on this. And it's great. It works out for you. But sometimes leaders won't follow through. That's when you've identified a poor leader, and there's probably no chance it's going to get any better, and so it's time to move on. 844-747-2577 is the number. Let's go to Pam in Kernersville, North Carolina. Pam, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hey, Ken.
Hi,
Thank you
Pam.
for taking my call.
You bet. What's up?
I am new to the Dave Ramsey, Ken Coleman, Dr. Deloney.
Well, welcome
program.
aboard.
Well, thank you. But I'm a little bit older than most of your callers, probably. I'm be 60 this year.
I love
So
it. I love it. My stuff works for
I'm-
60-year-olds, so let's do this. What's going on?
Well, I'm getting started a little late. I'm trying to get out of debt. I
Okay.
don't want to wait until I'm 80
Good for
and
you.
get there.
Okay.
So I was looking into doing like the passive income
Yeah.
e-commerce type businesses.
Okay.
But in order to do that, I was thinking about taking a course which it would go into my emergency fund. I would have to not deplete it.
Why? Whoa. Why? Why would you have to
Sorry.
go into your emergency fund?
The course is online.
No, I get
and
it.
it's like yeah.
How much does it cost?
It's around $1,000.
Is it an emergency? No, it's not. So here's the deal. How much are you in baby step 2? Paying off the debt?
Yes.
How much debt do you have?
Together, my husband and I, we have a total of about 200, including the house, over $200,000.
All right, let's stop. Let's stop on the house. What's the amount of debt minus the house?
Credit cards that I have incurred is $56,000.
Okay, so that's the only debt you have besides the mortgage.
Yes.
Okay, and how much money does your husband make?
Well, he's listening, so I don't want to say a whole lot. He makes over.
Okay. I mean, you don't have to tell me, but
Yeah.
does he make a good income?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so you guys are more than comfortable based on his income. Any income you make is going to be added to whatever he's contributing to the debt. I'm assuming he's contributing to the debt snowball as well.
Yes, but I work I'm working 3 jobs now.
Good heavens, okay. What are you making with those 3 jobs combined?
Combined, probably about probably 80, 85.
$85,000.
Yes.
So you guys are doing quite well.
Yes.
Why do you feel the need to go start an e-commerce business when you're making $85,000? Is it to slow down and go from 3 jobs to 1?
That's part of it, because one of the jobs, I enjoyed the second job that I've taken up, which is outside of the home. I work from home, and during COVID, it's been really confining and isolating. And so I work at a restaurant. It's a chain restaurant, and I'm in the to-go section, which gets me out among young people, which I'm really enjoying. But I don't know how long I can keep this up. It takes me away from my family.
How many hours a week are you working?
Total?
Yeah.
Almost about 70, 75.
Yeah, you can't keep that up. It's crazy. Are you guys making real progress on the debt?
Yes, we've
That's
paid
awesome.
off 3 credit cards since January.
You are amazing. How much is that?
It's probably about 8,000.
Good for you. Yeah, so here's the good news. I'll get back to the e-commerce course in a second. But we first have to kind of figure out, okay, how do we keep up the intensity on the debt?
Right.
But back off 70 hours a week. So one job, okay, I know one job is working the to-go section in a restaurant, but that's adding how many hours a week to your work?
It it just depends on how many they give me. Sometimes it's 13 to 20. Last week it was like 26 hours.
And how much are you making per hour on that?
12.20.
Okay, 12.20.
Plus tip.
All right. Now, what are the other two jobs?
I do medical coding from home, and that's a good salary. And then I work for my husband as well.
What do you do for him?
I do some of the I pay some of the bills,
Okay,
deposits.
great. So you're not actually getting paid for that, but it helps him not pay somebody else.
No, I'm getting paid.
Oh, wow, that's nice. Good. Well, if you go so here's the reality. What's your payoff date? Right now, what are you anticipating being? Because you guys are making good money.
I know. I would like to be out of debt in a year and a half.
That includes the house.
Everything.
Yeah, that's incredible. But what I would tell you is, you have to figure out the trade-off. So you admit you can't keep doing 70 hours a week. If you pull back from the restaurant, which gets you out of the house, which I understand, but that's anywhere from 13 to 26 hours a week. So that's a pretty big chunk. Even if you cut back to 10 hours, you could tell them, hey, I can only do 10 hours. They'd probably still use you. But you're going to have to figure out what the trade-off is. So you go, how much longer can I do this 70 hours a week at the age of 60? You got to really be honest. Because while I love your intensity, if you were my mom, I would be going, look.
Which I could be.
You could be. I would say, Mom, look, I understand you want to pay the house off too, but just paying the $56,000 in credit card, that's a massive achievement. We can be gazelle intense maybe to knock that out, but then we can slow down. You don't have to work 70 hours a week to still pay off the house. And I love that you want to pay off the house, but you're going to have to figure out what the trade-off is. Here's why. You called me going, hey, Ken, how do I pay for my $1,000 e-commerce course? Do I take that out of my emergency fund? No, you're making good money. You would just take some of the $1,000 that you're making with your 3 jobs and pay for the course. But you're not going to dip into your emergency fund. So you can slow down your debt payment a little bit. Okay.
Right.
And take the e-commerce course here's the big if you feel like it's going to really help you bring in the income you want and not have to work at the restaurant. I say slow down the budget, take the budget and go, we've been putting this much toward the debt for 1 month. I'm going to pull some money out and I'm going to pay $1,000. I'm going to cash flow. Okay. The e-commerce course.
Right.
But don't take it from your emergency fund. That $1,000 emergency fund is there while you guys are knocking this debt out. But don't take it out of your emergency fund. Just cash flow it.
Okay.
Good grief.
Do you know the success rate of the passive income?
No, because passive income is kind of one of those tricky little phrases.
Right.
The only people that I know that make really good passive income work their butts off and to turn it into passive income. So I don't know what the course is and what it's promising.
Right.
Do you know what it's promising, or what, if you go take the course, what kind of business is it?
Well, it's kind of like you set up your own type of business model.
Yeah, but what?
So you would set up, it would be online.
Yeah, but what are you selling?
It'd be something I was interested in, and I do a lot of crafts, and we're beekeepers, and it would be kind of incorporating all of that into one type of thing.
Okay, so I would save $1,000 for a course, because here's what they're going to do. They're basically going to tell you, well, we're going to show you how to set the website up. We're going to show you how to market. We're going to show you how to do all these things so that people come to you and buy honey. Let me tell you something right now. Save the $1,000. Okay? If you're going to sell crafts and you're going to sell honey, is that what I'm basically understanding?
Sort of along the same line, but something that I would want to sell, like things that you use to make the crafts.
Okay, great.
Like the supplies.
Well, my point is you can do that now with all kinds of free sites that are out there. You can start doing that on Facebook. You can start doing that on Instagram. You can do it on Etsy. Thank you, Amanda. Etsy costs you how much to set up? Very little. You don't need an e-commerce course. What you need to do is put your stuff out there and see if people will buy it. And before I'd even put it online, I would see if you could sell it in Kernersville. Because here's what I know, Pam. Oh, good. What do you sell? What do you sell right now in Kernersville?
Well, I make silverware rings out of silverware, of course, and jewelry, and then different types of what I call fluid art paintings.
Where do you sell that at?
And at Kernersville, I have a little spot. It costs $40 a month.
Yeah.
And
so here's what you do.
I have.
Do not invest one nickel into an e-commerce course. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to start taking pictures of everything you sell at your little corner spot for $40 a month. And I want you to put everything you sell there on Facebook, create a Facebook page with the same name of whatever you've been doing. And then you can create a Facebook page for free. And you can link from your personal Facebook account to your Facebook business page, which costs you nothing to set up, by the way. And it'd take you 5 minutes. I would also create an Instagram page, maybe a Pinterest page, look into the Etsy online stuff. But all you're going to do initially is offer the stuff you're selling at your little corner spot on Facebook. See if people buy it from you, they can come pick it up. You need to increase your sales in a free format locally, and then if somebody from the neighboring county or somewhere else wants to buy it online, then you figure that out as you go. But let's not invest any money into trying to create an e-commerce business. What you need to do is take your corner shop and start selling that online via free social media. That's your next step. Make sense?
Oh yeah, I do Facebook Marketplace. Have you ever heard of it?
Good. Yes, of course.
And I do that. So
yeah. Keep doing that.
We generated probably about 5,000.
You're amazing. Keep doing that. Okay. Figure out a way to do that better. And then look at an Etsy account or something like that. But right now, I think you got to consider, you and your hubs got to sit down and go, all right, how long can I keep 70 hours a week up? And then you guys decide. And it might slow your debt payment off a little bit, but not much. You guys are making too much money to physically kill yourself. It's not worth it. You're going to knock this out. True. You're going to knock this out. I love the intensity, but you got to take care of yourself. Because if you don't take care of yourself, we have bigger problems. And we don't want that. 844-747-2577, 844-747-2577. Folks, I'm super excited to bring you more resources and tools to make getting that dream job a lot less painful. Now, let me tell you something. I know. I listen to you folks every day when you call in. When you're looking for a job, it's gut-wrenching. It's full of fear, doubt, pride. It's rejection. It's insecurity. It's just awful. My friends at ZipRecruiter make it easier. They're the #1 job site in the world. You know why? Because they figured out a way to make the job search really enjoyable, because it's a lot easier. You can go to ZipRecruiter.com right now. One click. It's free, by the way. Companies are paying them for talent. You get on there for free. Here's what they do. They match up your profile with what you're looking for to companies that are looking for people like you. Then they allow the company to contact you directly. There's no middleman back and forth. They are effectively a real recruiter for you. And a recruiting service is a valuable tool. Think of it as another arrow in your quiver to get the job you want. Super excited to partner with them. Go to ZipRecruiter.com right now and sign up for free and start the process of getting the job that you want. All right, quick break. When we come back, it's Tuesday, Juice Day. Oh, I'm sampling a new juice. We'll tell you, is it healthy? Is it good? I'll rate it, plus more. This is the Ken Coleman Show.
Our world is changing, but so are we. Now, we see a smile through someone's eyes. We conquer our struggles and cherish each moment because we're shielded through faith and assured by hope. And greatest of all, we love. The world is different, but so are we.
All right, folks, welcome back to the Ken Coleman Show, where we help you go from paycheck to purpose. We like to have some fun. It's Tuesday. And for those who are watching live at about 12:30 Eastern Standard Time, this is all live. We got some juice here. Amanda has picked the juice. Now, here's what we're doing. I guess this is a rotating thing. Like Nathan and Joe are in this too. Damon, the brand leader. God only knows however many people will get involved with this. But here's what happens. In this cup, it's cool, by the way, cool to the touch, is some form of a beverage. We're using juice liberally in that it could be a coffee, a cold brew. I've told the team, here's the deal. It's got to be liquid. It's got to be supposedly healthy by the manufacturers of it. They say it's healthy. And it's supposed to promote energy. All right? And this all comes from me just kind of, I don't know, Joe, one day I just started talking about, man, when you're in your sweet spot, when you're using what you do best, to do what you love, to produce the results that matter to you, you got the juice, man. You just got the juice. People look at you and go, he's got the juice. She's got the juice. So they thought, oh, we'll have some fun with this. And so I'm going to perform a public service by informing you of healthy, energy-producing beverages. But instead of endorsing, I'm going to review the juices and then rank them on a scale of 1 to 10. Now, right here, the team has gotten, this is week 3, so this is evolving. So you guys have gotten clever. I don't know what it is. I'm not allowed to smell it. And in this piece of paper is the actual description of what I'm about to taste. I will then tell you what they say about their juice, and then I will review it, or I will give you, rather, a ranking. So here we go. Oh, boy, Amanda. I hope you're really nice to me. This does bring a little bit of tension for me every week, but here we go. Okay, all right. First, way better than the pickle juice by like miles. Okay, so good. I mean, this is interesting. This is really interesting. I'm gonna have to give this a second sip to fully describe this. Okay, it's sweet. And has some fruitiness to it. I feel like feels like maybe it's some fig. It feels like maybe it reminds me of a fig Newton. I feel like I've got a liquid fig Newton here, potentially. Which, by the way, love me a fig Newton. I used to eat them by the sleeve when I was younger. Here's what's interesting about this. No bad aftertaste. Some of these healthy beverages, while, not bad when they go in, really give you a nasty taste on the back end. And here's what's encouraging about this. No bad aftertaste. I would call this refreshing. I would drink a bottle of this. There's no question that I would slug this in between meetings, right before a show, maybe during a commercial break, Joe. So let's find out what this is, and then I will rate it. Let's see here. Known as Japan's first lactic acid beverage, Kalpus, was invented by Japanese businessman Kaiun Mishima. I hope I said that right. After visiting Inner Mongolia in the early 1900s. Wow, Amanda, now you know I love a good story, and I love history.
Yep, I do.
And so you've brought me is this the brand? It's called Kalpus, or it's a type of drink?
So Kalpus is the brand, and the drink is called Kalpiko.
Oh, so it's actually,
yeah.
So Kalpus is the brand, but the actual beverage is Kalpiko?
Yeah.
How do you spell that?
Kalpico.
Oh, I like that.
And this is lychee flavored. It's kind of a yogurt type of tasting drink, right? Lactic acid, skim milk.
Yeah,
and
I can taste that now.
Yeah, lychee.
Yeah, it's got a little fruity, yogurty taste to it. But the Fig Newton is what I got for some reason. I don't know. A little bit about the beverage. By the way, if anybody says anything interesting in the chat room, we'll jump in here. He felt energized. This guy who claimed that drinking the local brew, it helped his digestion because he had a little upset stomach from the trip, and he felt energized. After returning home, Mishima decides to research the secrets behind it. And it's a fermented Mongolian beverage. Fermented? Is this alcoholic?
No.
Oh,
no,
I was
not
going
at
to
all.
say.
No.
I would have violated a long-standing rule not to drink while live on the air. And eventually discovered that all of this goodness was due to the lactobacilli bacteria that's used in the fermentation process. Great. So lactic acid, which, by the way, Madison, you're the workout queen. Lactic acid is what our muscles produce when stressed out through exercise, right? Oh, fantastic. Joe, do you even know what lactic acid is?
Yes, I do. Thank you.
Okay. Very interesting. I'm going to drink this today.
Yeah, you should.
I'm going to see how this does. This is very interesting. Okay, I got to rank it. Let's see here. What is this again? This brand, I want to give it some love.
And can I say that when my husband and I
Calpis.
lived in Japan for 2 years, we used to drink this all the time.
Where-
Super refreshing during
Really?
the summer.
And you can get it, do you get it online or in your local grocery?
Kroger.
Really? Kroger
Yep.
carries it?
Yep.
Huh,
Local.
fantastic. Calpis. I'm going to rate Calpis because it's really refreshing. No aftertaste. I'm assuming very healthy. There was nothing in here on no crazy sugars
Nope,
and all that.
good stuff.
I'm going to give this a solid 7.5. 7.5. It's really good. Tasty, healthy. I like it. Very, very good. All right, Nathan, it's time for In the News. All right, forget people going back to the office after the pandemic begins to subside. People are just quitting. Wall Street Journal, here we go. People are quitting, and there's some good news behind this. Several factors that are driving the job turnover based on surveys. People don't want to return to business as usual, so they're saying, hey, remote work was my jam. That's all I want to do. If you're going to make me return to the office, I'm not doing it. Now, that is a calculated risk. I don't think that's going to work out long term. I really don't. Here's what I mean by that. I think there are certain companies that will offer a lot of remote working, but a lot of companies are going to see that that's not really good for culture and productivity long term. Numbers are still out. So this is a bit of a prediction, but we've seen this already with some companies that, of course, to keep open, they had to go remote work. And then they were like, we were efficient, certainly made it work, but we see that the culture and productivity is affected by being remote, and it is. Let me also say that when I make a statement like this, it doesn't mean that it's blanket for everybody, but by and large, this is what I believe is true. So here's what's going to happen. There'll be a lot of people that kind of place their bet and go, I'm only going remote. So I'm only going to work for companies that are remote. Guess what? There's going to be a finite, in other words, a limited amount of remote positions that are available. And thus that inventory is going to go away and you're going to be out of luck. You're going to go, I want remote work, but it's going to be limited as to how many remote jobs are available. And that's a problem. Other reasons for remote work. People are scared of the virus still. There's some fear there. Some are just burned out. Whether the company could help it or not, they feel as though I'm being overworked and I can't keep this pace up. The company's not adjusting. They're still putting me through this workload and I can't do it. They feel as though the water is just below their nose. They can't do it. And people will only tread water for so long. That's driving a lot of it. So, leaders, I know a lot of leaders listen to my show. You got to pay attention to this. The reason I share this is because if you don't figure out a way, whether it's new systems, whether it's part-time help, contract labor, extra vacation days, more pay, but ultimately you're going to have to solve the workload issue. If you don't solve it, people are going to leave you. Other companies are going to figure it out. I don't buy that you have to burn people at both ends to survive. Nope, I'm not buying that. So it might be the easiest thing for you because you go, well, it just is what it is. And the hard work is leading, innovating, adapting. You've asked them to adapt. You've asked them to innovate. Leaders, you're going to have to figure this out. Here's what's happening. Healthy companies who've done what I've just said are offering better pay because they've got holes to fill. They're trying to attract people from unemployment. And so salaries are going up, benefits are fattening. Leaders, you better pay attention, or this is going to be a big, big problem for you. All right, my time is almost up. But before I let you go, I want to remind you that you matter and you do have what it takes. Thank you for joining us. Until next time, this is the Ken Coleman Show. Press on.